From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBIC, the PrimeTime Capper, and it is time for the PrimeTime Angles, the premier sports betting show. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. It is Friday, and man, we got Breeders' Cup already going on. Just seeing the 30-1 go off, which was a part of our top horses as well, too. So if you put astronomer on top, then you pretty much are sitting in good shape right now. It was a 30-1 right there. So pretty much paid $62 for your $2. So if you put a little bit more on there and use that horse as your key horse, I didn't use it as the key, but I did use it in my top horses. Just missed the exacta by a horse. So I'm kind of mad. I'm kind of like, but I know it's early in the day and everything's looking good. Let's get a little update on the Breeders' Cup real quick, though. Let's see what we're doing. Okay, we're 1 minute away from race 3, but let me go ahead and jump into our topics at hand today. And up first, OBJ. Man, OBJ, I'm telling you right now, this is just, it's finally over with. You know what I mean? Like, period, point blank, it's finally over with Cleveland. This was a deal to me that never made any type of sense at all either. To be honest with you, I've always thought that this was a little bit of the Browns trying to put together two guys that play college football together, that are best friends, known each other since high school, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, though, that Jarvis Landry had already established himself in Cleveland. He already had bought into the culture. He's, he really had put himself into the community, and he came to love Cleveland because of that. Now, OBJ I never felt like he liked being in Cleveland. He liked being on the Browns, any of that. He never showed signs of that happening. Even when he came over, he was still nursing an injury as well, too. And, pretty much, a lot of people kind of gave him a break first season, even though he did have some strides in some games where he did pretty good. We all remember the Jets game when he had that long touchdown and all that good stuff. And, OBJ had moments, you know what I mean? He had a big moment on Thursday Night Football with the Browns when he had Landry throw him a pass for a touchdown. And, it was a lot of it. They had a few moments, but most of this was a waste of time for both OBJ and the Browns. OBJ just couldn't stay healthy, had the bad ankle, tore the ACL. Now he's dealing with the shoulder. It was a lot of things that just didn't work. And I just felt like the guy just was kind of just collecting big money with the Browns. But you can't do anything if you're hurt. I understand that part, but I think that his demonstrative behavior was starting to get a little toxic. And then when his father mentioned that we need to free OBJ, that they're having personal conversations, and you're not going to speak up for yourself, but your father will speak up for you. And I think that's what pretty much put the nail in the coffin for this relationship with OBJ and the Browns. And the Browns, at the end of the day, it's not a big loss for them. They're still winning football games with or without him. They went to the playoffs last year without him. And, this gives more opportunities for guys like Donovan Peoples-Jones. Also, Jordan Schwartz, who's one of the fastest people in the NFL. It just opens up opportunity. And then, they do have some guys that are on their practice squad that looked really good during the preseason that probably will be getting called up fairly soon as well, too. So all in all, this was a good deal, good situation for both of these guys. There should be no ill feelings here because I think that everybody wanted to get out of this relationship before this season even started. You know what I mean? I don't like to say relationship, but because relationship, but you know what I mean though. But everything, I think at the beginning of the year, you had a lot of excitement because you said, okay, OBJ will be back and the Browns want to win it. The Browns could be a Super Bowl contender and they'll need him for that push and for that run. Nah, they never needed him. They could have went ahead and got an asset. Maybe could have acquired somebody, say like Brandon Cooks or something of that nature, who's absolutely killing it in Houston with a team that's just not going to leave the basement at all this season. So there's a lot of things that just you question. But let's go ahead and talk about OBJ's options. Now, OBJ does own a house in Los Angeles, nice mansion out in Calabasas. So that's about an hour away from SoFi. And I think maybe 45 minutes or so, maybe. But I think that will probably be his first choice is to try to get with one of these LA teams because both of them have a winning record, brand new stadium, both have very good quarterbacks as well too, and both may need some help at receiver. I think the Rams may need a little bit more help because Van Jefferson is a little gimpy right now. It looks like he looked like he got a little banged up in their last game. You got Cooper Kupp, who is going to start getting a little bit more attention because even though he's killing it and he's still getting double teams, I think that they're going to start scheming ways to try to get him out of games. So OBJ might be right on time for the Rams. You know what I mean? He might not. Today he might not be a need, but in a month or so he might be a need. So the Rams, to me, could be the top candidate to bring in OBJ simply because they're where he lives at, and the Chargers as well too. If the Chargers kind of want to spring out and say to themselves, you know what, we want to make a splash here and try to act and make some real moves here as a team. But we know the Chargers are a big long shot for this because they don't really want anybody disruptive. But the Rams can cater to this type of mentality because they already have a bunch of superstars in there as already, and those guys will be able to check OBJ if he gets out of line at any point in time. But I know he's a good teammate, and I know he's very passionate about the game, but it's been detrimental towards his career as well, too, because he hasn't responded well to certain things. So that's what these good teams are going to look at. San Francisco already said that he could be an option, but they're not on the top of he's not on the top of their brain right now. So you're going to have to give everybody about a week before OBJ is back into the mix on anybody's team. And he's going to have to take a week to learn what the team is all about. And he's still dealing with the shoulder injury. Now, the second destination I have for him would be a team that just lost older receiver who was high end years ago, but still a big name in the league, and that's gonna be AJ Green with the Cardinals, who's gonna be out for a little bit. And I think that with the way that the Cardinals keep going after star players and players with high profiles and things of that nature, OBJ will probably kick the tires in an idea to say that, okay, possibly we could connect our fantasy leading quarterback Kyler Murray with a guy who has a tremendous speed and could be a good option to platoon with AJ Green down the road as well too. So this could work out as well, and that could be something that the Cardinals are looking at to tell themselves, maybe we can make the next move in our franchise instead of just wanting to get to the playoffs and get as far as possible. We could possibly be thinking about getting to the Super Bowl and winning it. And OBJ would be an incentive to that as well too. I'm not saying he can help you lead you to a Super Bowl, but the thing is, though, you have DeAndre Hopkins. You put two of the more popular receivers over the last decade on the same team. I think that you can work some things out with that, and that could be a possible fit for the Cards. And then the team that always gets mentioned when anybody who has a speed, swagger, and some skills You already know the Las Vegas Raiders have been mentioned because the situation with Ruggs going out. So Deshaun Jackson's heavy on their brain. Now OBJ is going to be heavy on their brain. But I think that with the way OBJ operates, it doesn't fit the Raiders at all. Mike Mayock is not trying to deal with another AB situation. So I think that they're gonna honestly, the Raiders will probably pass on this situation, even though they did kick the tires, made the phone call to see if they could possibly make a deal for OBJ. I just don't see that happening the way that Mike Mayock operates and the way that OBJ operates. There, it's not going to be a good. It wouldn't be a good matchup. It would just be like going back to Cleveland, but he would have a different quarterback in Derek Carr who would be able to get you a little bit more involved than Baker was doing at this time. So that should be the three teams that stick out to me. But then if this Rodgers situation can get cleared up within the next few weeks, then he could be the dream receiver that him and Devontae have been waiting for to really open up things for the pack. And this would be a rental at best. We all know that. It wouldn't be anything long term, but I would think that the Packers would be in the mix for this as well too. But they might not be. But once again, you do not want somebody to come in and disrupt your chemistry. It's just that simple. You keep going back to that angle, is that you don't want somebody to disrupt your chemistry. It's that simple. It doesn't matter how talented a guy is. And OBJ has not been that good in the last since he got to Cleveland and got hurt his final year in New York, and then demanded to be the highest paid wide receiver, and is only really given us two great years of video. The rest of it's been good and bad and sometimes awful. So, you have to look at that. And then the last team I'm going to mention, the Saints will make a bid. I'm saying that now, but the Saints are very low on money, and they would have to really move around. They would have to move around some parts to make sure that they could even afford OBJ for a quick 8-week rental. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But OBJ and the Browns have parted ways. They are no longer in a relationship with each other. Everybody's free to go, and everybody can go ahead and move on down the road and stop blaming Baker Mayfield for why OBJ's career has been held up. If he wouldn't keep dropping passes and wouldn't keep staying hurt, it probably would have worked out. But when you're complaining and you're not producing, hey, you just got to move on from a guy. You can't live off of what they used to do with another team if they've never done it consistently with your team. So that's my point, and that's my 2 cents, and I move forward. Let's go ahead and talk about some money, the money. Hey, but we're going to go ahead and get into the Lakers last night. And the Lakers were absolutely just, Lakers have me kind of frustrated at this point right now. Let's see the update real quick. Big Switch wins race 3, is the winner of the Golden State Juvenile Philly, and it looks like we went ahead and hit the exacta here as well too. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. We couldn't get home. It's Simple. I'm kind of sad about that. It's Simple was a horse I was heavy on, with 7-1 as well too. So we didn't get that. But let me go ahead and stay on topic. Let me talk about the Lakers right now. The Lakers lost again last night after leading literally throughout the whole game against the Thunder. And they pretty much damn near lost the same way that they lost in Oklahoma City. But last night, they had a better opportunity to win that game. But once again, the guy who's been detrimental to the growth of the Lakers for this season went ahead and reared his ugly head once again. Russell Westbrook had a very, very key turnover late in the game that literally gave the Thunder the game. Even though the Lakers kept it close, Carmelo hit 2 late threes to keep things fun. But at the end of the day, you knew that the Lakers probably weren't going to win this game after SGA went ahead and hit about a 45-footer last night. Literally pulled up from the Lakers logo and knocked it down. And it was about a minute and a half left to go in the game, and you could feel the air go out at Staples Center. And at one point, they were down 26 at home against the Lakers. Last night, guess what? They were down 19. So the Lakers literally went into this game and started coasting again. And then when it was time to play and keep things intact, the Lakers absolutely fizzled. And I'm not, I know you guys think I'm just picking on Westbrook, but yeah, he had a good game last night. 27 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, only had 4 turnovers. So that was good. But he shot 10 of 23, was 3-6 from the three-point line as well last night. So, he had a good game. He had a contributing game. He was a big factor. But the thing is, though, I felt like he needed to be much smarter in that position. I know that he was trying to go to the hoop, get a foul, gather and everything, but I think that he just literally ran that play too fast and did not give the Lakers enough time to really try to go ahead and win the game thoroughly. The Lakers were only down like 1 point when that happened, and literally the guy throws the ball into the second row trying to do something fancy in a very critical situation. And I feel like he literally handed 2 games to his former team. Because the funny part is, when he used to play in OKC, if the game came down to the crunch against the Lakers, he always found a way to not mess it up. But it seems like he keeps messing it up when it comes to playing with the Lakers and playing against the Thunder. And I just think I'm just already tired of it, man. I think that, I don't want to be even like this about Russ, because I like Russ a lot. He's an LA guy. He went to UCLA. He's, I love this story. A guy coming in here with a big chip on his shoulder. Nobody recruited you, blah, 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 blah. And then you go to OKC, you were able to have 2 really high-end teammates with you that were very young at the same time too, KD and Harden. Then you make KD mad. KD moves on to Golden State. The organization made Harden mad earlier in his career. He moves on to Houston. These guys are monster successes. Why Russ gets to have OKC all to himself and then has a kind of Debo mentality with his teammates, to the point to where they're scared to get rebounds. They're scared to get assists. They're even scared to get points at times. And they catered to this guy being able to get triple doubles night in and night out and get probably the most bogus MVP of them all. You know what I mean? I can't name anybody else that has a more bogus MVP than Russell Westbrook. I know that he had triple doubles in each game, but even when Wilt Chamberlain had triple doubles in each game, his teammates still love to play with him. And I think he went off and won a championship that season as well too. It just didn't stop in the first round. You know what I mean? So I think that NBA fans are always awarding his performance and not really looking at the player itself, and not and really overlooking the fact that there's a lot of things he does that's very detrimental to the team. Yelling at the refs, literally coming to the sideline, teammates trying to keep you pumped up, you slapping hands away. I could never play with a guy like that. Seriously, I could never play with a guy like that. I could never coach a guy like that. So those type of players, to me, they don't belong on the Lakers. It don't matter if you're from LA and you love the Lakers growing up. He's more of a Clipper. And I always thought that the Clippers were the better fit for Westbrook if he was ever to come back to Los Angeles. So, we'll see how this goes. And hopefully Rob Pelinka is starting to field calls about maybe moving Westbrook on and finding himself another asset to go with AD and LeBron. And now I'll throw in Melo, because Melo is becoming becoming the most consistent player other than those 2 players I just mentioned, and he's off the bench as well too. So, Carmelo coming in there getting 21 points last night. He's literally getting almost like 22 points a night now. He's hitting at 4 to 5 threes at a clip, 50% every night. There's nothing to be mad at with Carmelo here. DeAndre Jordan last night, once again, did absolutely nothing. 1 point, 3 rebounds. What are you paying for? What are the Lakers paying for with that? This is what happens when players think that they're general managers and just don't play their position. It's that simple. And then, the Lakers only had one guy off the bench other than Carmelo actually show up, and that was Austin Reeves. He scored 8 points last night. Howard only played 7 minutes last night and got 4 rebounds and 2 points. That's actually good. That's some good stats for the time he was in the game. But I'm very disappointed in Malik Monk. All he did was go 1 for 3 and score 2 points. He knows he has to be bigger than that off the bench. Seriously. So Lakers last night shot 41%, shot 36% from the 3-point stripe, but shot the free throws well last night, and this is why I don't understand how they lost the game. They even had 5 more offensive rebounds than the Thunder. When you look at the stats, it's like, how did the Lakers lose this game last night? And it's because they didn't finish the job. And it happened in OKC last week, and it happened again last night in Staples. They're going to have to get this thing together, and Frank Vogel's going to really, really have to start getting down and start coaching and stop thinking and stop just letting the animals run the circus. You know what I mean? So you got to just you got to get on it. You got to tighten up. And it's fine. It's 5-4. As I said before, first 6 weeks of the season until we get to Christmas is extended preseason. But you do not like to see something like this night in and night out. This has to be corrected, and it has to be corrected quickly as well, too. So that's the state of the Lakers for you. And we move on, and let's go ahead and jump into some college football for tonight. We got the Friday night lights tonight, and we got some good games going on between teams in the ACC, and we got the Pac-12 at night. Everybody loves those games at 7:30 with the Pac-12. Now, when I look into my trusty notes for tonight's game, we do have a Virginia Tech team that started the season off 2-0, but is now 2-4 after losing 4 in a row. So they're 3-5 against the spread. They're actually 4-4. I'm sorry. They're 2-4 after that 2-0 start, 4-4 in total, and then they're 3-5 against the spread. They're 2-6 when it comes to the over/under. So they've went under in 6 out of their 8 games as well too. They're also 1-3 against the spread, 2-2 straight up as the favorite, and then they've only played 2 road games, so they're 1-1 against the spread and straight up on the road as well too. Now BC. You know them. They always will give you something magical on a Friday night. And this is a good spot for them tonight as well, too. Now, they did start the season off 0-4, but then they picked it up in October, and they went undefeated in the month of October. So they are riding a 4-game winning streak right now as well, too. And then you have 4-4 against the spread. They've also went under in 6 out of their 8 games, and then also they are 1-3 against the spread, 2-2 straight up as the underdog, and they're 2-1 against the spread and straight up at home. So this game right here, to me, actually calls for another Friday night special from the boys from Boston. So we're going to see how this one goes. We're going to see how this one shakes out. But this is a good game in the ACC tonight, and I look forward to it. And let's see how it shakes out. Now we move on to the Pac-12 at night. Get a little clubbing, get a little EDM going. Pac-12 at night. West Coast, a little late for the East Coast folks, but right on time for the West Coast folks. So pretty much we have 2 teams here. Utah coming in here minus 350 on the spread. Stanford plus 275 home dog, and plus 9.5. They're given for Stanford as well too. Over under a 52.5 for the game. Now, what I see here is you have a Utah team 5-3 on the season, 3-5 against the spread. Have went over in 6 out of their 8 games this season. They're 4-2 straight up as the favorite, but 2-4 against the spread as the fave, and they're 0-3 on the road because they were road favorite 3 times and have lost all 3 of those games. But that was a little earlier in the season. They've been good the last few weeks, and they are 1-3 straight up and against the spread on the road. So yeah, they are not a good road team. All their losses have occurred on the road. They're much better at home. But this is Stanford, and that's why the line looks like this, because Utah is coming off of a big juicy win over UCLA, a team that beat Stanford by 11. So that's kind of how they're gauging things a little bit on the line. And Stanford has a few guys out as well too, but that doesn't really make a difference. Stanford's always tough when you play them at Stanford. Now, Stanford's 3-5 against the spread this season, 3-5 on the season as well too, straight up. They went under in 5 out of their 8 games. They're 2-3 straight up as an underdog and 2-3 against the spread as an underdog. And then they're 1-2 straight up against and against the spread at home this year. Their big solo victory coming against Oregon, which is huge moving forward as well too. So pretty much with that, that's going to be what I'm seeing tonight. But I think that this game is more of a scoreboard watching game than anything. But I got good news for you guys. I didn't do a parlay today with the college. I actually did what I did last night with the Georgia State Lafayette game. I went ahead and gave you guys 3 bets each in both of those games. So they will be unveiled once we get to Talkin Tickets. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. And when we get back, we're going to go ahead and jump knee deep into the NBA and get into these NBA Friday night games that I have selected and see exactly where we can go tonight, where the money is at, and what's the smart plays, right? So with that, you guys go ahead and do what you got to do. Stay tuned, though, and I'll be right back to you. This is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles Live with the one and only Pop DBIC, the PrimeTime Kappa, and I'll be right back at you.
The VTECH app, where social media meets sports betting. Get the latest line movements in all major sports. Track your daily bets, daily contests, the NFL over-under contest that pays out $10K in cash prizes. This is a cutting-edge app that helps betting be easy. Sign up with the reference code POPDBIC and you will be able to watch my daily show, The Primetime Angles, as a resource to building that bankroll. VTECH is available in your Apple or Google Store on your iOS or Android. The social sports betting app, VTECH.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
All right, we are back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live. And now it's time for me to talk about the money. I'm done talking about the little dramas that go on in sports because, that's not what we signed up for when we made this show. It's all about the money. Y'all know that. So let's go ahead and first game of the night is the Nets and the Pistons that I have here. Pistons coming in here plus 400 at home, plus 10.5 points given out for them to be the dog tonight, and then the Nets are the very high on the money line, minus 550. What I like to call the guys that we got to have the sure thing parlays and all that good stuff. So that minus 550, that's probably the only place you'll see that getting used. But when I look at my notes for this game tonight, you got a Nets team that already beat the Pistons by 26 points in their first meeting on Halloween, which was on Sunday. So the Nets are 4-4 against the spread. And one alarming stat about the Nets this year is that the Nets aren't scoring a high volume of points, or they're just not going over as much as they did last year, which was like literally every game. They've actually went under in their last 7 in their 7 out of 8 games that they played on the season. They're also 0-1 on the road, so they played nothing but home games since losing on the road to the Bucks opening night. And then, as a favorite, they're 4-3 against the spread, 5-2 straight up as the favorite. Only time that they did lose to the Hornets, and I think they also lost to very good. They also lost to another very good team as well too. I'm gonna get this for you guys right now. I want to make sure. But all in all, the Nets expectations are a little different now because they don't have Kyrie like they thought they would. And, it's all good though. They still got Blake Griffin there, but they did lose to Miami. So, there's things that they're still working out, things like that. But KD's, he's kind of coming of age this season. We got a different KD. He's loving to play a little bit more of the villain role, in my opinion, this year. He's getting a lot of technicals, kind of for no reason, but it is what it is. It's all entertainment, and that's what the people come to the game for. All right, so we move on to the Grizzlies at the Wizards, and these are two teams that are surprisingly really good right now. The Grizzlies led by Ja Morant, the Wizards led by Bradley Beal. Both players will be probably starting in the All-Star game this year as well, too. So, this is going to be a good matchup between two high-end guards. Too bad it's not on ESPN tonight because the records call for it to be on ESPN tonight, but the game is going to just be local. When I look at the Grizzlies numbers coming into this game tonight, the Grizzlies coming to this one tonight. I have the notes right here. The Grizzlies coming to this one tonight, and they are 6-2 against the spread. They're 4-4 over and under. They went under in their last 3 games as well too. They're 3-1 against the spread and straight up on the road. So that's a good stat to have right there if you want to back the Grizzlies tonight. And then we have have a 1-1 record versus the East for the Grizzlies as well too, and that's against the spread and straight up. And then you have the Wizards 5-3, and then you have the they went over or under in it pretty much equally. 4 games here, 4 games there, so they're 4-4 when it comes to the over and under, and they're 3-1 against the spread and straight up at home, and then they're also have went over in 3 out of 4 of their games at home as well too. So this is one of the better games of the night in the NBA, if not the best game of the night in the NBA. So we'll see how this one goes. We'll see how it shakes out, and we move from there. Now, let's go ahead and talk some Knicks and Bucks tonight. That's going to be another fun game. You got a Bucks team coming in here 4-4 though, and the Knicks surprisingly 5-3 right now. The Knicks are 4-4 against the spread. They've went over in 5 out of their 8 games this season, and then also they are also really good on the road. They're 3-1 straight up on the road. They're 2-2 against the spread though on the road, and they're 1-1 as an underdog. Both games were on the road as well too, and they're 2-2 when it comes to the over and under on the road. So they pretty much have split both when it comes to the over and under. Now you got a Bucks team coming in here 4-4 against the spread as well. They've went under in 6 out of their 8 games, and then they've also have dropped 3 out of 4 of their games at home as well. 3 out of 4 of their games at home this year as well, and every game in Milwaukee has went under this year, including that game where they scored 127 against the Bucks. It actually was like a 234. It landed at 231. So there that is. So pretty much this is going to be a really fun game tonight. But I'm just going to be honest with you. I think the Knicks are playing the better basketball at this point. The Bucks have a lot of important players out as well too. Chris Middleton is on the covet list. So tonight, the Knicks will be the dog of the day, plus 140. We've actually hit the dog of the day 2 days in a row. Last night, we had the Celtics at the plus 220. So you guys already know we're 2-2 this month when it comes to the NBA dog of the day. So don't sleep on that either. So I got the Knicks tonight, plus 140 as our dog of the day, and we'll see how it goes. And then we move on to the Blazers and the Pacers. And the Blazers and Pacers are playing in Portland tonight in the later games. And you got a Pacers team that's been struggling, but the Pacers are starting off November pretty well. They're 2-0 to start this month after a 1-6 start to the season. And then they come back and they are 4-4-1 against the spread. They have covered in their last 3 out of 4 games as well, too. They've actually went under in 5 out of their 9 games as well. They're 1-3 against the spread on the road, and they're 0-4 straight up on the road. So they already have a lot working against them tonight coming into this game. But the spread tells me that there's some confidence can be laid in the Pacers in this spot because, yes, they're coming in 2-0, and also they just got a good win over a Western Conference team, and they're 1-0 in that category. So that's something that you can go ahead and put into your notes as well too when you try to decide who you're going to rock with in this game. Now the Blazers coming to this game back east trip. They lost 3 in a row to all Eastern Conference teams as well. They're 3-5 against the spread this year. They've also went under in 5 out of their 8 games. And when it comes to how they are at home against the spread and straight up, they are 3-1. Now, as I said before, they lost all 3 road games they just on their latest trip, and all those games were against Eastern Conference teams. So it kind of messed up their it kind of messed them up a little bit because they were 3-2 before they made the trip. Now they're 3-5. So this is going to be a fun game tonight as well too. But I think the Blazers get it together tonight. They've been raised up to -5 on the spread, and it's jumped up to -200 for the Blazers and plus 170 on the Pacers tonight. So there's a lot of action going on the Blazers side tonight. I usually don't like to run with the public, but I do think the Blazers win this game by 6 or better tonight, to be honest with you. So there it is with the Pacers and the Blazers tonight in one of our later games. And we move forward to the nightcap, to the final game. And that's going to be between LaMelo Hornets and De'Aaron Fox's Kings. So will LaMelo get some revenge for Big Bro? You remember him and De'Aaron Fox had the war of words going back and forth. Well, really, it was just De'Aaron Fox talking, and Lonzo just kind of just going about his business. But let's see if little bro wants to go ahead and kind of get some revenge for Big Bro tonight. And I see where we're at. We got a Hornets team that's 5-4, start the year off 5-1. So things are a little different as the season progresses for this team, but they still got a lot of promise as well too. They're 5-4 against the spread, so every game kind of went the same exact way for them. So there's 5-4 against the spread, 5-4 straight up. They've also went over in 6 out of their 9 games against the spread and straight up. They're 3-2, and on the road, they've lost 2 in a row after starting 3-0. So, they start off pretty good on the road, but thing is, though, they've been running into the woes. And then they've went under in 3 out of 5 of their games on the road as well, too. And they are 3-3 as an underdog coming into games as well. Now you got the Kings coming in here 4-4, 500 record. Kings have a really good team. They're not talking about them as much yet, but Tyler Halliburton, De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, and Marvin Bagley, if he just, doesn't worry about moving on to the next team, they could be something really special, you know what I mean, for probably a short period of time. But they can they got to get it together, though, because Luke Walton is, we all know, that seat isn't hot. That seat is on fire right now. He's going to have a good season because they've believed in him long enough. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes with the Kings. But I think that the Kings could be a dangerous team in the Western Conference when it comes to the lower seeded teams and the teams in the lower rankings and things like that. I say this because, they started off the season very well with the 4-4. So they're 5-3 against the spread. They're also went under in 5 out of their 8 games. They're 1-2 against the spread and straight up at home. They're 0-3 over and under at home. So all games have went under at their venue. And then when it comes to being a favorite, they're undefeated. They're 2-0 against the spread and straight up as a fave. So this is a good look for people who want to back the Kings tonight. And the Kings are a favorite for a reason. And, it is what it is at the end of the day. So pretty much Hornets Kings might be the under the radar game of the night. I expect some good things to happen with all this young talent that's going to take part in this game. So it might not be a game you might not want. It's a game you might not want to miss. So if you do have the NBA channels and direct TV and all that good stuff, then I would say check it out. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our Talking Tickets segment. And I love to talk them tickets, man. So it's time for us to talk tickets, and we are at the stretch drive of the show. And up first, we got the CFB Friday night lights bets. And let me go ahead and remove that real quick so you guys can see everything. In the Virginia Tech BC game, we're going to go under 46.5 tonight. I know weather should play a part into that game as well, too. I got Boston College money line for the first half at even money. And then I'm going to take the first quarter on the BC half a point spread. That means that if we're tied up, say 0-0 or 3-3 or 7-7 in the first quarter, then we get to cash the ticket on BC. So pretty much we need a tie or for them to be in the lead. And there it is. Single what you like in that spot. And we move forward to Utah at Stanford and +10 to Stanford in that game, as I'm just respecting the home team, respecting that it's a Friday night game as well, too. And Pac-12 after dark ain't nothing promised. So I'm taking the +10 on Stanford. Also taking the over 27 in the first half. I expect early scoring from both teams as well. And then I'm going to be a little bold tonight. I'm going to take Stanford money line first quarter. Let's hope we can get a 3-0 lead, 7-0 lead, something of that nature, to get off on the good foot to start the game. So there it is, CFB Friday Night Lights bets, and there it is. Instead of giving you guys a parlay, I just went ahead and gave you guys 6 bets. So let's see what we can do. Single what you like, and we move from there. Now we have ourselves the 30-1 NBA Super High 5 tonight. I'm going to be a little risque and take the Pistons with the +10. A team that just got beat by 26 4 days ago should come back and have a better effort in the rematch. And that's what I expect out the Pistons tonight with the +10. Cade Cunningham should be a go as well, too. He has no injuries to report anymore. So the rookie should have himself a night tonight because he's going against who many consider the best team in the Eastern Conference. And then we have the over 220.5 with the Grizzlies and Wizards tonight. I think that this is another one that you should lock it in. It should be some good money for you as well, too. So we'll see how it goes. The over 220.5 with the Grizzlies and the Wizards, as I already told you guys before. The Knicks, my dog of the day, at +140. And then we have the Blazers -5 tonight at home. I think they take care of their business against a woeful Pacers team. Even though the Pacers started the month off 2-0, it's still a road game. It's going to be tough. And I think the Blazers, after losing those 3 games in a row, they're beyond frustrated, and they're going to make sure that, they take care of their business tonight. So this could be a double-digit win, but I think winning by 6 or more is a good idea to run with first. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have to be double digits, just 6 or better. So we got the Blazers in that spot, and then we end off with the under 231.5 with the Hornets and the Blazers. This is going to give us a 30-1 ticket once again, and that's going to be our NBA Super High 5 for Friday night. So once again, I thank you guys very much for tuning in. I did double duty today. Just got done with horsing around. Now we're done here with the Primetime Angles, the premier sports betting show. And as I always say, if you got a hunch, bet a bunch. Bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving. I am your host, and I'll be back to you guys Monday. But check for me on IG this weekend with the different tickets. And also, I'll be back Sunday to talk NFL as well, too, at about 8:30, 9 o'clock as well. But I'll confirm a time for you guys tomorrow. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys Monday. And have a great weekend. And this, one last time, the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.